Hey, I'm Joe.
And I'm Sean.
And guess what? That's right, freak.
That's right, freaks.
Okay. Here we go. Take two.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
I see dead people.
Suffering will be legendary, even in hell.
It's alive!
Fear on film.
Hey, I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe,
And welcome to the podcast.
where we talk about fear, jump scares,
Gory kills, the brutal, the gruesome.
and the not so gruesome.
All in the disturbed and morbid love for horror.
Welcome back to Fear on Film, our monthly dive into horror. Alrighty, so Sean, we are halfway through the year.
Oh, Joe, I cannot believe that. I was going to say, oh my God, it's so depressing. I don't know why I would say that. It's not at all.
It's been a great year, especially for horror films, and film in general. There's just been a lot of great stuff out there. It's just been so awesome.
Okay, can I say something and I will die on this hill? I think 2020 to 2029 is going to go down in horror history like 80 to 89 will. And I'll qualify that. I thought maybe it was an anomaly at the beginning. And now, granted, we were in lockdown. We kind of lost a little bit of mojo and momentum in the beginning of the year because of that. But let me tell you, Joe, from 2022 to 2025, they've made up for it in spades. The horror community, the horror filmmaking community has made up for it in spades. It has been year after year after year now of exponentially greater and greater rewards when it comes to horror. I'm hoping that you agree with me because every single year is better than the last, and I'm just cautiously optimistic that we can carry this through all the way till the end of the decade.
I definitely agree. I mean, it's been a slow surge, like you said, from 2020 until now. And I think we're just hitting this momentum right now that's just amazing with all these indie studios coming out with these great little films. And even mainstream. I mean, you got the big studios kind of jumping in with some original material. And it's thrilling. It's amazing. So much fun. And, and it's a good problem to have for us because we have to schedule our films for the episode and what are we going to choose and so forth. And yeah, but it's a good problem to have because there's so much out there. I mean, which kind of segues into this. I mean, we were going to cover we had what did you call it? A wild card, right? And so it was going to be a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But we had an issue. There was two amazing films that we wanted to cover. So, Sean, why don't you tell them what we decided on?
You're right, buddy. It was an embarrassment of riches. We had Sean Byrnes' Dangerous Animals to choose from, and then, of course, Danny Boyle and Alex Garland's 28 Years Later. So, how do you choose between those powerhouse directors and their phenomenal works that they've already done? How do you choose? Well, you don't. You take them both.
Yep, and that's exactly what we did because we're going to have a creature double feature.
I love it. I love the moniker.
Yes. So before we get to our creature double feature, being that it's halfway through the year, we're going to do a top 5 best and worst horror films of the year. And then, of course, at the end of the year, we'll do the top 10. And who knows? It'll shuffle around, and we'll get some maybe pushed out or pushed up. We don't know, right?
Yeah. No, and that's the best thing about these rolling lists is that they're always changing. Can I say one thing though, Joe, just to kind of quantify what we mean by best and worst? Because you
Okay.
know me, you know I'm such a soft touch. It's easy to say best. That's going to speak for itself. When
Right.
we say worst, we're not putting the boots to any film. We're just saying that this film, for us, for Joe and for Sean, didn't live up to our expectations. We would never disparage the hard work that the filmmaking community puts in. We understand how hard it is to make any
Right.
movie, and it's a miracle any one of them gets made at all. So you know me, you know I'm a big softie. I just want to qualify that before we start putting the boots to some films.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, there's on my worst list, or my, let's just call it our least favorite. There's some films on there that really were not too bad, but they didn't quite meet my expectations. So they were not as satisfying as I thought they were. So you're right, to what you were saying. We're not saying some of these movies were horrible, although I do have a couple that I want to think, it's just they're really bad. But
I've got one in general, yeah, that I'm gonna go roughshod on.
right. So yeah, but the best are the best, for sure. So why don't we do this? So you go first. You give me your number. We'll start at the bottom of the list, okay?
You got it.
Uh, and then we'll work our way up. You go first, and I'll give you my number 5, number 4, and so forth. What do you say?
You got it.
Let's start with our best so far.
Okay.
Our top 5 best, and then we'll jump on to the top 5 worst.
Okay, this was so hard because I'm literally looking at my list and I have 8, but gotta
No,
gotta
no, no,
follow
no,
me.
no cheating, no cheating. You have
Nope.
a creative way of getting them in there.
I'm literally deciding on number 5 as we speak, and you can tell that I'm just stalling for time. But okay, I'm gonna go with Osgood Perkins, The Monkey. I know it was a very divisive film. I know that
Right.
my incredible partner, who I'm talking to tonight, really didn't love it, but I had an incredible theater experience with it. It
Mhm.
was so much fun. I feel like it kind of went there. I'll put it this way. Everything I was expecting, it delivered on, and then some, which is all I'm really looking for in a movie, regardless of the genre.
Well, I respect that. That's a good choice. That really is. I mean, Oz Perkins is definitely he's an excellent director. And like I mentioned when we discussed it on our first episode, there was a lot of stuff that I really loved that he did in that film. But just for me personally, there was a lot of stuff that kind of missed the mark. So, but no, damn good choice. All right. So I'm gonna give you my number 5. Okay,
Let's hear it.
Josh Rubin's Hard Eyes.
Okay. Mm,
I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was tongue in cheek. And it really successfully meshed the rom com with a slasher film, which, to my not best of knowledge, I don't think that's ever been done before. It was a lot of fun. And I could definitely see a franchise growing from this. Ruben really had an eye he has a sense of humor, but he also he knows how to shock the hell out of you. So that's my number 5.
Joe, I couldn't agree more. I'm just spitballing this right now because I agree with you. I don't think it has been done before. And has Josh Rubin created the Rasher or the let's see, the Rasher or the Slashmance?
Slash.
I'm kind of leaning towards Slashmance, but he's created a completely new subgenre, and I am here for it. And I'm hoping, I think you could bet that there will be a sequel because this was one of the few films, there have been a couple, but this
Mhm,
is one of the few films in 2025 that did not perform on opening weekend and
mhm.
grew
Yeah,
exponentially week
yeah.
after week because of word of mouth, which it's like it does not happen these days.
Right. I mean, that's something that I recall, well, maybe the 90s and definitely the 80s where, yeah, you have these smaller films that just kind of grew by word of mouth. And yeah, you don't see that happen as much. And this is definitely one of those little films that, I guarantee you, if there's a Hard Eyes 2, which I'm pretty damn sure there will be, it's going to open really, really well.
The funny thing is when this word of mouth happens, it almost always happens to horror movies.
Yeah.
Specifically horror movies. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
All
with you,
right.
buddy. All right. So, you know what? My number 4 is Hard Eyes. So, it's back to you, my pal.
Okay. Well, my number 4 is Chad Archibald's It Feeds. This movie was fantastic. You talk about exceeding expectations. I mean, there was 2 initial expectations going into this. Well, this is a low budget indie horror film, and a lot of times they miss the mark. But at the same time, it looks like a James Wan kind of film where they kind of fizzle out in the third act. This was nothing like that. This was a lot of fun. It took a left turn on me. It's like, oh, this is where it's going, and no, it's not. And that ending was just bonkers. It was amazing, beautifully shot. Chad Archibald knows how to do a small film and make it look big. And there's only one other film director that I can compare that to. And I'm not just, this is not just hyperbole, but John Carpenter early on in his career with movies like, Escape from New York and Halloween. And so these were done on shoestring budgets, but they looked massive. They looked big. They were on quality with a studio film. And that's where, I think Chad Archibald is comparable to John Carpenter in that sense. And I'm pretty sure he's going to grow and become just a great horror filmmaker in the future. So It Feeds, my number 4.
It Feeds was my number 6 film.
Oh, that must have been tough.
Chad, if you're listening, I assure you it will be on the top 10. You know I adore your sweet Canadian face. I will not let you down. It Feeds I agree with every single thing you said. Chad, basically, he made his bones with Bite. He worked his way up, consecutive films, learning his craft, learning timing, learning, set pieces. It Feeds is the culmination of all those skills coming together at the peak of their power and his power as a filmmaker. And I'm just like vibrating to see what Chad does next.
Yeah.
He's in the zone now. He's literally in the zone. This is the beginning of his sweet spot, and I just want him to, get writing and get filming. And I know he is. I know he is, and I cannot wait to follow his career because he's in it now. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing, and the results of all of the films that he's done previously and all that work are just producing incredible cinematic experiences.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. You got to give me the inside scoop on what he's working on next off the air, because I can't wait to see.
You got it, buddy. You got it. All right, my turn. Okay.
You're number 3.
My number 3 is going to be Presence. Steven Soderbergh's Presence, an incredibly emotional horror movie. Wasn't really expecting the kind of like catharsis that I would have watching this film, but it really hits you in the heart of all places.
Mm-hmm.
A completely unique haunted house story told through an incredibly unique perspective. Don't want to spoil anything here in case no one, people haven't seen the film, but search it out. It's almost, I hate to put it in this context, Joe, but I'm going to because it's accurate. It is almost like an art house, haunted house movie. And I hope that doesn't scare people away, because once you say art house, people are like, well, I don't like brie cheese, I don't want that. Trust me, people, it's an immersive experience. You'll understand when you start watching it. Joe, I know that I know how you feel about Presence, but what do you have to say about it?
Oh, geez. It is, I'm pissed off at myself because it's not on my list, because that was definitely one of my favorites as well this year. It's heart. It's beautiful. It's touching. It gives you kind of the creeps in certain, in the beginning. And the way it is shot, it's just beautiful. I'm just going to leave it at that. I came out of the theater, and I looked over at my wife. I'm like, what did you think of this? She goes, wow, it was beautiful.
Right?
Yeah, it's just a beautiful film. It's, and first and foremost, you say it's a haunted house movie. I'd have to disagree in the sense that first it's a family drama, then dealing with loss. Yeah, and then it's a ghost house story. And it is just a beautiful, beautiful film. So damn good choice. Damn good one.
Thank you, man. What do you got next?
All right. Well, my number 3 is, Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later, which we are going to be discussing. So because we're going to talk about it, I'm just going to say, loved it. Danny Boyle really knocked that out the park.
Dude, this is going to be a quick list because that's my number 2. So we're going to unpack it all momentarily. Let's go back to you. What do you have for your number 2?
Well, my number 2 is Drew Hancock's Companion. That, the best romantic horror relationship, messed up kind of situation. Jack Quaid was off the charts. I mean, the entire cast. I mean, it had me giggling, it had me shocked. Amazing film, and definitely one of the best of the year.
Everybody was fantastic in that movie. It's what a specific type of sub-genre horror film that I love, which is single location set piece movie, which is, if you can pull it off, phenomenal. A great single location set piece to put on everyone's radar. Kevin Williamson's Sick. I think you can, it might be on like Peacock or something like that. Check it out. But Companion was my number 7.
Oh, wow.
Love that film. This is what I'm talking about though, buddy. There have been, it's by the time this airs, it's going to be August 13th. We're a little bit more than halfway through the year. Look at the abundance of phenomenal films we have.
Yeah, it is. And, in back to Companion, it's also it's a film that you leave the theater not only with entertained and go, wow, that was fun, but also it's a film that actually makes you think. It has some sub themes in that are really thought provoking, and so it's a damn smart movie.
And you know what I love? Smattering of sci-fi. I'm never gonna turn my nose up at that. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we are up to our number 1, and I have a sneaking suspicion what you've picked because I might have picked the same film.
We both pick Sinners. Let's just say.
Hands down, the best horror film of the year, the best film of the year. Ryan Coogler. This is his just his masterpiece. Again, we went on and on our previous episode on it, and just a beautiful film, incredible. Yeah, if it's not number 1 on either one of our lists, we shouldn't be doing this podcast.
There's only one film that could possibly dethrone it that we're aware of. You never know. This is the exciting thing about horror. You never know until the stroke of midnight, New Year's Eve, what little contender can come in and knock it out of the top spot. But I will say, Weapons, in my opinion, Weapons could possibly be the only film that could knock it out of the top spot. But how great is that? How great is that? That in a year where we have Sinners, that there's a contender on the horizon that could possibly dethrone it. This is like, we don't deserve nice things. The fact that we're getting 2 movies like this in 1 year, it's almost too much. It's not too much. I take that back, but it's almost too much.
It's almost yeah. I mean, but who knows? Like you said, I mean, Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro, that could be one. I mean, so yeah, the only gripe I have about Frankenstein is not going to be on the big screen, but that's another issue. But
I'll say, let's see about that one. I don't think that's accurate. I think they're going to release it.
Oh, I hope they do. I really hope they do. I mean, I'll watch it either way. I got a nice sound system, nice TV, but still, I mean, that
Joe, I'll bet you a beer. Not only do they release it in IMAX. I just have a feeling that we're being gamed. Trust me, I'll bet you a beer. Okay,
you got it. I'll take that wager. And I hope you're right. I'm willing to. I'll buy you a case.
Now the stakes just got serious.
Hey, we're talking some serious stuff here, okay? So now we're gonna get to the fun stuff here, okay? Hold on a second. I'm gonna go put on my boots because you know me, I'm an asshole. So we're gonna get to our worst films or our least favorite films of the year. So Sean, you go first with your number 5.
And again, these just didn't work for me. My number 5 is a movie called The Ritual with Al Pacino and Dan Stevens. I adore both these actors, specifically Dan Stevens. Dan Stevens, for the past, ever since like The Guest, has been working his way to being one of the quintessential scream queens of
Right.
horror. And I don't mean that tongue in cheek. I mean, he is a scream queen of horror. The Guest, Apostle. He's in the Godzilla franchise now.
That's right.
Yeah, I should have pulled up his IMDb because, of course, now putting myself on the spot. I've done this to myself. No one did this to me except me. But you know what I'm saying. He has popped up in Abigail, horror movie after horror movie. Cuckoo, better and better each and every one. Even if the movie's not great, he's great in it. So that's what I mean. I hope people don't get, why you calling him a scream queen, dick? But this is a term of affection and of stature. This guy is a horror movie actor now, and it's incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
To see him in The Ritual basically being set dressing, and then having Al Pacino, who is trying to have fun with the role, and he's doing this accent, but when Al Pacino gets excited, which he does numerous times in this film, he loses the accent completely, and he sounds like he's on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx.
Yeah,
So,
I did notice that, yeah.
yeah, it completely takes you out of the film. And then you've got a film that is basically they're saying that it's, and they're correct, this was the inspiration for The Exorcist, much like the shark attacks in 1904 off the Jersey Shore were the inspiration for Jaws. I get it. That's fantastic. The reason no one makes that movie about the 1904 shark attacks is because there's already a fucking movie called Jaws. So, see what you made me did? Now your cousin, I apologize. I'm really trying to watch my cussing, Joe.
No, it's okay. Fuck it.
Now you're not going to be invited to Thanksgiving. Now this is getting real.
Oh, man. I wanted some of that ambrosia this year. Anyways.
Now I'm starving.
Yeah.
But you get my point. They should have rethought this movie, but that's it. I get nervous when I'm putting the boots in films.
Well, I'm not going to mention much about it because it may pop up on my list. So my number 4 is Death of a Unicorn from Alex Sharfman.
Didn't see it. Interesting.
No. Yeah, I see what it's trying to do. It kind of tried to go with that companion style humor and tried to be commentary as well. And it just missed the mark for me. The entire cast was great. They were, it was a lot of fun, but I don't know. Everybody just kind of seemed as though they were just sleepwalking through the film. And, the visual effects were good. The unicorns were really unique in their design and stuff. So I really enjoyed that aspect. There was parts I liked, but it was overall, it just kind of fell flat for me. So, that was my number 4. I was supposed to go with my number 5, right?
Hey, if you didn't say anything, who would know?
Right, exactly. So that's my number 4, and then I'll jump back to my number 5, okay? Or should I do my number 5 now?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, my number 5 is The Monkey from Oz Perkins.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, but it's not a bad film. Like I said earlier, it just missed the mark for me. I couldn't really get into it. There was a lot of stuff. To me, it felt like just a lot of moments that were strung together weakly by a weak to non-existent second act, and the shock element was kind of like, it grew old and it grew kind of stale for me. So, but Oz Perkins definitely did do a lot of great stuff in it. Like we mentioned when we did the Monkey, he definitely channeled George Romero, and that kind of worked. And I like that style. But yeah, unfortunately, it did miss the mark for me. So.
No, I get it. You hate me. Okay. I'm glad you're unpacking this in real time. It's like a minute-by-minute therapy session now. Okay, Joe. All right, let's go. Let's keep going.
But it had its moments. It did. I mean, that the woman with the fish hooks in the face and the sign and on fire. That was just classic,
dude. Look, I knew that this wasn't your cup of tea, and I fully expected it to be on your list. I completely respect that. And yeah, I mean, it's the kind of movie where I think it really hinges on your theater experience.
Yeah.
If you caught the vibe of the crowd, you see it one way, and if it doesn't land for you, you totally see it your way.
Right.
Completely get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's your number 4?
No, it's okay. I'm not crying. You're crying. My number 4 is a movie called, and Joe, we dodged a bullet because we were actually going to do this on our episode Until Dawn.
Yes. Okay. I have not got a chance to see it. I've been so busy. My wife saw it and she said it was
It's what I like to call a folding laundry movie, which sounds horrible, but you need those. You need movies where you don't have to be fully engaged in them. And you can pop in and pop out, check your phone, go grab a sandwich, fold the laundry. You know what I'm talking about. This is one of those movies. Let's just say I'm so glad we did not devote an entire episode to this film. It just a concept that's actually probably pretty good. I never played the video game, but it sounds incredibly cool and fun. And it seems like the blueprint was there, and everything is half measures with this film. But I will say it's fairly gorgeous to watch, which is interesting. So, like, the look is there, the sound, the set design, the quality. Script is horrible. The editing is horrible, and the direction is horrible. So
Wow.
it's a shame because the actors that they have are pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I might check it out still, just for reference. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I got a lot of that feedback from a lot of folks who saw it that it wasn't all that great. So
It's funny. You're talking about Death of a Unicorn. I'm talking about Until Dawn. Both these movies opened their weekend and fell off the face of the earth. So that tells you everything right there.
Yeah. Alrighty, so let's go with my number 3. I went with Ash.
That's my number 3 too, Joe.
Is it really? Oh man, by Flying Lotus. This movie, I think it was maybe 20 years too late. First of all, way too tropey. The cast was pretty decent. I like the cast. It was shot nicely, looked really nice. But yeah, it's you can't. It was a letdown, and it's one of those movies where you're constantly checking your watch. How much more do I got to go with this?
You could tell Flying Lotus thought he had just a phenomenal idea. It was just all in the execution. So you hate to burst a bubble, but you're right. 20, 30 years too late.
Yeah,
this was
absolutely.
a concept that would have landed so much better back. We would have loved a movie like this back in the 90s. We would have begged for a movie like this back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
But in 2025, yeah, it's just, less said the better.
Yeah. All right. So our number 3s are the same. And so you go with your number 2.
My number 2 hurts a bit because I really had high hopes for this film. I actually wrote in defense of it for Macabre Daily, and that's Lee Winnell's The Wolfman. And I'll stand by my review. Upon reflection, the faults of the film are more apparent to me, but I will say this, that we're always bitching and moaning in the film-going community, not just horror, just film in general, that we don't get original ideas. Lee Winnell tried something different. It turns out that the different thing he tried is the one thing that he shouldn't have messed with, which is, if you're going to have a werewolf movie, it has to have a werewolf in it.
Right.
Not somebody who is morphing into a mutation. No matter how interesting you make that look, and it is interesting, it just isn't a werewolf. So if you're not going to, again, I can easily see how someone gets over their skis with the mind-shattering, I've got the perfect idea. We'll make a werewolf movie, but we'll completely change the concept of the werewolf, and all it would have taken was one person to smack Lee Winnell vigorously across both cheeks, like the French do before a duel,
Right.
and he snap to his senses and say, oh, no, 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 no. What I meant to say was I will try to do practical effects that will make Rob Bottin and Rick Baker proud.
Yeah.
And that is the film. If you insert that into this film and change keep Chris Abbott, because I think he actually did a very good job, and
Yeah.
I love Julie Garner, love her. They have no chemistry whatsoever. They must not have been tested. No chemistry whatsoever. I adore her.
Yeah. What's interesting is that when it came out, I gave it a very good review and I enjoyed it. But what's interesting is that this almost made my list. It's actually number 6 because
it's imminently watchable, Joe. Imminently watchable.
Yeah, I rewatched it and I'm like, you know what? For all the same reasons that you just illustrated, you don't have. I thought it was kind of ballsy and very brave to try something different. But that's something you don't fuck with. You don't mess with the lore or the look of a werewolf. It's very iconic and like you said, it's a morphing disease, which it is. But
can I? You bring up a great point, which is that it's all in the title. If you're going to call your movie The Wolf Man, you have to have a wolf man. It's very much like what happened with this year's Salem's Lot. Now, if that movie was called Small Town Vampires, people would have loved the hell out of that film.
Mm-hmm.
Word of mouth would have been like, man, I caught this vampire movie on HBO last night. It was incredible. The second you call it Salem's Lot, people are like, well, this is just a garbage fire because it's not Salem's Lot. And the same is true for the Wolfman. I'm not saying it's a garbage fire, but heavy is the head that wears the crown of the Wolfman.
Yeah.
If you're going to take that gig, Lee Winnell, and I love your films, you gotta follow. And I like, this is where the fanboy in me comes out, Joe. Because if you're going to call it the Wolfman, like an insufferable prick horror addict. But in this circumstance, I have to stand by it.
Yeah.
What you need to do is you need to up the game by having an incredible transformation and practical effects. And then what you do is you give this gift to the next generation so that they try and top it with practical.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Very interesting choice because, like I said, when it first came out, I really liked it, did the review, gave it a positive review, and then I watched it again and it just kind of fell apart. Maybe it was just I was in the moment. I don't know. But yeah, good choice. I agree with that. I definitely do. So my number 2 is a film called Rosario from Felipe Vargas.
Oh, didn't see it.
Okay. This was...
Now I won't.
Right. I'm putting on my boots right now because they're going down. This movie, it was a dumpster fire. It had it had the look, it had the vibe, it had the creeps, and there was I give it this much. You've seen the poster, right? Where and there's like some hands wrapped around this woman's head, and that's in the film 3 or 4 friggin' times.
Oh, come on.
They redo that gag one too many times, and it's okay, granted, horror movies have stupid people who make stupid decisions, granted, but there's a line, and this main character, she was good, she's a damn good actress, but her character just went on and did, what's this slimy stuff wrapped around some kind of witchcraft voodoo thing? Oh, let me touch it. Oh, what's this door that goes into a cavern? Oh, let me go into it. It was so frustrating. It was stupid. And on top of everything else, it's definitely a case of cultural appropriation in the sense, because now granted, when we hear that phrase, we think, well, white people taking blah, 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 right? No, Hispanics and Latinos do the exact same thing. And it's done in this film. They're practicing. The film is set in New York, and it's a Hispanic family, and the grandmother practices this religion called Palo Mayombe, okay, which is also known as las reglas del Congo, or the rules of the Congo, and it comes from African religion, and I'm Puerto Rican, and our cultures, Cuban and Puerto Rican, very similar, where a lot of our sub-religions and alternative religions are rooted in Africa. And but the family is Mexican. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, and which doesn't make any kind of sense. Now Mexico has brujeria, which is witchcraft, a very uh, dark form of dark magic.
Yeah.
So to mix that up and go, oh yeah, yeah, and because again, it's something that's deeply rooted in Cuban culture, just like brujeria is a Mexican culture. So why would a Mexican family be, or a grandmother be practicing that? If she's so yeah, that really annoyed me. I rarely get annoyed with stuff like that. I'm not a social justice warrior, I can give a shit, but in this case, that was kind of like, come on, I mean, we're
Yeah.
trying to,
I get
as
it.
Hispanics, we're trying to, move forward and stuff. But yeah, so that was kind of annoying. But aside from that, it was just a piece of garbage. I'm sorry, it was a dumpster fire. It was dog shit. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
All right, well, pass those boots over here, pal, because I have my number one,
Okay.
which is going to be Bring Her Back, the Philippou brothers, Bring Her
Oh,
Back.
I have not seen this one. Okay.
All right. They're incredible filmmakers. I love their visuals. I love their pacing. I love their editing. They get great actors. They get great performances. Everything is there. Just
Mhm.
everything. Everything that you can want is there. They cannot. Here's what they did. Oh, and beep boop, beep 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 boop. Spoiler alert. I don't know. I guess that's the spoiler alert sound. Uh,
Yeah,
if you haven't seen the film, because I'm going to spoil the hell out of it,
go for
then
it.
just give us 2 minutes. Even for me, just give us 2 minutes, and then come on back. This film's you get to the end of it, and you're like, what was the purpose? It is nothing but child endangerment and child gaslighting and mental abuse and physical abuse. And then here's the thing. This is going to sound real awful for me in a second. I don't I I don't mind that. I do in real life, but I don't mind that in a film. I
Mhm.
don't mind a nihilistic film if they're going to carry it through to its nihilistic conclusion.
Right.
You can take me on a bummer train and I'll go with you. The Mist, Martyrs, Inside. I will go with you. Have it pay off. You know, I will leave the theater devastated, but appreciative of, yeah, you know what? That was a gut punch. I don't necessarily
Mhm.
know that I'll ever watch it again, but I'm glad that I watched it once. I've been telling people to avoid this film like the plague because they don't. What they do is they get up to to the the goal line and they murder one of the kids, and then they're about to murder the other kid, and then she just through happenstance in panic just says the word mom, and then the woman who's been systematically constructing basically like a dark song-esque ritual to bring her dead child back, killing people, harming people. This has taken most likely years in the making. Here's that one word and changes her mind, and the whole movie is all for naught. And you're like, what the Franklin have I been sitting here for? Like, all right, you know what? You're the one who called this tune, and I'm dancing to it. And then you stop the music. Like nothing infuriates me more than someone who's like, yeah, man, we're badasses. We're badasses and we're going for a bad vibe. And then they get right up to 2 minutes before the credits and they're like, no, we change our mind.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's a cop out to me. You wasted my time. I didn't want to be bummed out to begin with, but you took me there, and then you don't even take it all the way. And to me, it's just weak sauce. It's just absolute
Oh,
weak sauce when a director does that, because it's like you didn't have the conviction. You were so you were so full of yourself, and you were so like high on your own supply, but then you got to that last bit where you need to kick it into, you actually have to do it. Like, you've done all these awful things, but you actually have to really do it at the end and put your stamp on it, which is like, this is going to be known as a monumental film experience because of we went there, and then you don't. So again, I'm sucking all the air out of the room because I've almost passed out over here. This film upset me because of the lack of conviction in the filmmakers to actually see it through, and that I don't respect.
Wow. Well, just on the subject matter itself, I mean, movies like that are a tough sell for me. Even if they do pay off, I mean, you know, children, things like I can't even watch
Who wants 2 hours of child endangerment? Also, it's like,
yeah,
who wants
yeah,
that?
yeah. I mean, I can't even watch the what was it the kid in the striped pajamas? I can't even watch that. I haven't even
Oh,
watched it.
hell no.
No, so yeah, well, I'll definitely pass on that one then. I mean, there's some films that I hear bad reviews or, you like yourself, you'll say, "Oh, this one's I'll give it a shot. Who knows?" But that one, no thanks. I'll definitely give it a hard pass. So,
Ironically, I will see every one of their films because they're incredible filmmakers. That's the thing, Joe. You can't, you can't, you got to paint with a detail brush, not with a wide brush. You
true.
know, this one didn't work for me. Clean slate, cancel,
All right.
clear. And then
All right.
next go around, we give them, it's a clean slate.
Yep. All right. So my number one is The Ritual. I don't know about you, but the mumbling, there were times I had to put my volume all the way up to just understand what they were saying, especially, Al Pacino, who I adore. I love Al
Right?
Pacino. And, yeah, I couldn't understand with that really bad accent. And then he's like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah." Oh man, I was frustrated throughout the whole movie. It had its moments, it did, but
Well,
moments make not a good film.
he's going for something, just doesn't work. But I can
Yeah,
respect that he went for something, but it
yeah,
really doesn't work.
yeah. I mean, it kind of reminds me. I think what he was trying to go for was Russell Crowe in the Pope's Exorcist. I think he was kind of trying to go with that, be a little humorous, a little charming, kind of eccentric. But it didn't work. It didn't pay off, and it was a waste of time. It really was. The cast. I like. Again, most of the other cast they were really good. They did their job. They did what they had to do. But it just an incoherent mess, and the shocks and stuff. And again, everybody's trying to hit that exorcist level again. These exorcist films, and I'm a sucker for them. I'm guilty. I keep falling for it. I keep watching them,
I
and
know.
with
Same.
and yeah, and the ritual. Oh, an exorcist, maybe these. But I think the audience, like myself, is with the same situation with the director. The director's trying to reach that plateau, and we're trying to visit it again. And for that, you know what? Just go on HBO Max and watch The Exorcist from 1972, and problem solved.
Mike Flanagan's reinterpreting The Exorcist. Leave it in Mike Flanagan's capable hands. Let's see what he comes up with. By the way, there was a series not that long ago with
Yes.
Ben Daniels, who I love. Fantastic British actor. The series is good. It only got 2 seasons. Gina Davis is actually in it as a older Reagan McNeil. Really good.
Yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think, and I like the cameo by oh God, I feel so terrible. What's her name? Played the mom.
Linda Blair? Oh no,
No,
no, sorry, Ellen Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn, when she makes her cameo as the mom, the mom who comes back, and I thought that
Yeah.
was really neat. I thought it was a really good series. I doubt it was, a lot better than The Exorcist, the latest one. That was dog shit. That was
Oh,
horrible.
so bad. They spent
Yeah.
400 million on that. It makes my teeth hurt. They spent
Oh,
400
oh,
million. Oh my god.
oh God. Oh.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So what do you say we let's get into our the homework you gave me from last episode.
Okay. So the homework I gave Joe, Joe is probably like, dude, this is the worst idea. Your homework is horrible. The movie I gave Joe was The Car from 1977. The 70s Freaktacular is all about, look, it speaks for itself. It's the Freaktacular.
Yeah.
You know, The Car is one of those films that I like to call, it's in the subgenre of like Jaws, but ... Which, by the way, Joe, I'll be asking you to come on my panel that I'm doing with Nicole, phenomenal author, Nicole M. Wolverton,
Yes.
where we talk about movies that came out after Jaws. There's like a 3-year time period where movies came out that studio heads were like, give me Jaws with a car, give me Jaws with a roller coaster, give me Jaws with a bear. And this went on for 3-4 years. Major studios were making these films with major actors in
Yeah.
them. And it's just so, Bud, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Will you come on the panel? It's going to be in August.
I'm there. You don't even have to
Perfect.
ask twice. I'm there.
Perfect. So The Car's a 1977 film. It's directed by Elliot Silverstein. It's written by Mark Butler, Dennis Chirac, and Lane Slate. Stars James Brolin and Catherine Lloyd, by the way. Catherine Lloyd, a 70s actor who was in the Missouri Breaks. She was in the Frisco Kid. Catherine Lloyd shows up in all of these movies during the 70s.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like this. I love her. I don't want to disparage her by calling her an undiscovered gem, but not a lot of people know the name Catherine Lloyd. Trust me, when you see her, you'll recognize her. But this also has just a cavalcade of 70s character actors: R.J. Armstrong, Ronnie Cox.
Yeah.
You're going to have fun watching this film. It is bonkers insane because it's about a demonic car in the Midwest running, or possibly, I guess it's Arizona, just running the stuffing out of people right and left. And it's essentially Jaws on land. That's exactly what they were going for. Brolin's got that sweet ass stash from 77. RJ Armstrong is a wife beater that also kind of turns out to be part of the good guy posse at the end. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, 1977, but we'll
Right.
unpack that at a later time.
Right.
You know, different times. Thank God we've evolved.
Yeah.
What else they do? Give me your thoughts.
Well, it's funny. I'm watching this, right? And as I'm watching it, and there's a couple of specific scenes, but I'm like, oh, Sean, you're a slick one. Like Jaws on. I get it now. This is fucking Jaws on land in the desert. It gave me vibes of The Duel of Christine.
Great call.
And you know what? I loved it. It was so cheesy, so bad, but it was so much fun. I mean, there's a scene where they're doing the band rehearsal out in the desert. I mean, well, don't they have schools for this? But anyway, they're out in the desert, right? Because there's a cemetery right there. So, here comes, and it reminded me of Jaws. The 4th of July weekend, people are doing their thing, and here comes the shark or the car. This movie's bonkers, like you said. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I'd never seen it. I'd heard of it. And with a little side thing here, that remember that the bugle guy, or the guy with the French horn, the hitchhiker?
John Rubinstein.
Yeah, that his character's name is Johnny Norris, which is the same name as Robert Hayes has in The Ledge in the film Cat's Eye. So it's the same name. Yeah, I'm like, Johnny Norris. Oh, that's the guy from Cat's Eye, So
sweet call out, dude.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And it's a very interesting film. I mean, I've seen Dennis Chirac's film, a few of his films before. He did The Gauntlet, Pill Rider, Turner and Hooch. And this was totally different. It had a feel of a 70s cheese fest film, TV movie, but it also had the cinematic feel to it at the same time. And like, again, by no stretch of the imagination is this a great film, but is it fun? It is a lot of fun. And so I enjoyed it. Damn good pick.
I love that you pointed out that it's fun to watch and it's filmed well. This is, yeah. I mean, look, there's money spent on this film. It looks good. It's 77, so it looks 70s, but it's got that vibe to it. It's a Universal Pictures film, so they spent money on it. I will say, I'm not going to spoil anything because I actually want people to go and watch The Car. There's a scene about 3/4 of the way through where a character gets obliterated in their living room, and I'm just gonna leave it there. That scene alone is worth the price of admission.
Yeah,
but the car kills the hell out of a lot of people. And
Yeah,
it's fun. It
it is.
really is. I mean, you definitely get the vibe of like, damn, this is Jaws. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's,
And
I
I
mean,
won't say you start rooting for the car, but you're like, well, I wish the car had come back.
right, exactly. You're counting down the seconds and the minutes. Come on, where's the car? Where's the car? And that horn, that was that
The
was
horn's the
that was
best.
that was fantastic. It's so bad, it's awesome. Now, did you catch the opening music during the credits?
Well, yeah, I must have missed it though. What did I miss?
Dies Irae, Day of Wrath from The Shining.
Oh, and this would have been 77 before 81 or
Yeah,
80, 81. So, okay.
yeah. The film starts. You see that, and you're dun, 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 dun. I'm like, hey, that sounds familiar. Same song.
Damn, bud, that's awesome. Great call out. Okay, can I just do a quick? I'm going to do a quick other call out. You already mentioned one.
Okay.
If you love vehicles that kill, you gotta check out 1974's Killdozer about a possessed bulldozer. I'm going to repeat that: a possessed bulldozer. Saw this film as a child, and
Oh,
it terrified me, and I was obsessed with it until, well, I still am. Okay, so that's Killdozer. Then there's the Hearse, Christine. There's a fantastic segment with Lance Henriksen in Nightmares, a 1903 anthology.
oh yes, yes.
Anthology, Joe, that might figure in a minute or two.
Oh yes.
You got Maximum
Mm.
Overdrive. So, look, there are some great movies out there about cars that kill or vehicles that kill. So, why don't you build yourself a little like a drive-in theater and do like a quadruple feature one of these days?
I shit you not. I hit the lotto. I'm building a drive-in. I'm flying you out here, and we're gonna watch like multiple double features, a festival of these bad films.
You had me at Lotto. Here's your homework for your next assignment, Joe, is we had to circle around to it sooner or later, and that is anthologies.
Yeah.
There are
Uh-oh.
so many good ones in the 70s. Particularly, I mean, you've got Hammer, you've got AIP, you've got Amicus. I'm going to give you, though, Trilogy of Terror with the
Yes.
Karen Black.
Yes. I was hoping for. Oh man. You know what? Oh, I'm gonna watch that tonight. Man, I love that film. I
It-
remember watching that back in the 70s with my mom when it premiered on ABC.
It's iconic.
And it is. It scared the shit out of me. I mean, the iconic episode, because it's 3 episodes, of course, Trilogy of Terror. And the last one is the creme de la creme. And, I barely remember the other two. And they were good too. But that last one, I'm not going to give it away. Folks, see this, join us. That way we get to our next episode. You know what we're talking about. Love this. I can't wait. Awesome.
You will
Awesome.
never hear the word Zuni doll and not think of
Oh.
Karen Black.
All right.
Joe, I've got to ask your favor. I need
Mhm.
2 minutes. Remember last episode where you and I were talking about trailers and we put the ever-loving boots to Megan 2.0?
Yes.
Something fantastic happened. My new good friend, Brian Finnerty, who just started not that long ago at Macabre Daily, and Brian, who is a gay man and is doing phenomenal work with Macabre Daily with queer horror, he was teasing me. He texted me and he's like, you keep the disparaging name of Megan out of your mouth, very, very tongue in cheek and having a great time with it. And I'm like, oh, you
Yeah.
got it, man. I'll retract that next episode. And then he was like, hey, look, do you happen to know, why Megan 2.0 resonates with the queer community? Which I was like, no, by all means, I love nothing more than learning new things. So could you educate me? Brian, the friggin' gem that he is, sends me some notes on why Megan 2.0 is basically geared toward the queer horror community and what it means to them. Would you mind if I just read his notes real quick? It's
Oh, by
not
all
that
means.
long,
Yeah,
but
yeah, go for it.
Brian is a friggin' he's dynamite. So you got to hear this. Okay. So why the gays love Megan. Long history of being drawn to complex and powerful women. Historically, we haven't seen ourselves reflected in media, so we've had to find surrogates. Complicated female characters have often served that purpose. Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Megan has pop star energy. The gay community loves an iconic young female performer. We can both agree on that, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
embody some of the most admirable female-coded traits. Since gay men have historically embraced some of these things, since gay men have historically embraced some of the things that society says are for girls, we're drawn to more powerful examples of those, such as the sassy bitch. The gay community has had to figure out how to live in a world that can be dangerous and threatening. We can certainly agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
One way we've learned to fight back is through verbal sparring. It's not always safe to physically fight back, so biting wit is a safer alternative. Absolutely. Camp appeal. Gay men are often drawn to examples of camp in media, things that are over the top and ridiculous in enjoyable ways. Think Mommy Dearest, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, or anything John Waters. Camp often makes fun of or skewers what we consider the traditional heteronormative culture. As people whose very existence already breaks the rules, we enjoy media that does the same. I.e., a robotic little girl who sashays across the room making bitchy comments before slicing the head off, slicing your head off with a paper cutter. Brian Finnerty, first off, you're fast becoming one of my favorite people. Present company included. So is Joe, and he knows that.
Thank you.
But Brian is killing it, and he's opening up the Macabre Daily world to queer horror. We're so appreciative. Brian, I can't thank you enough for educating me toward why Megan 2.0 was so exciting for the queer community. I am excited for you, and now I am seeing that trailer, and I'm going to see the movie in a different light, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably going to enjoy it 10 times more than I would have. So I just wanted to do due diligence and just rectify a mistake that I made. I'm not going to drag you down with me, but a mistake that I made.
No, it's really incredible, eye-opening insight. That's amazing. I'd never really quite thought of it that way. And I see that movement or that ideology, kind of like spurting up as early as the '70s with Cabaret, for example, with Liza Minnelli, and which definitely fits in that discussion. But no, very fascinating. I'm impressed. Now, will I see it? I mean, I'm just, I don't know. I might see.
You already have your homework. You're watching Trilogy of Terror. I'm definitely going to go see. Hopefully, I can see it with Brian. We're trying to. He lives in the middle of Jersey. I'm in the ass end of Long Island, but we'll make it work. Also, Brian and I are definitely going to be at Brooklyn Horror Fest, and Matarazzo is flying in. So exciting times in the fall. But anyway, get me on a tangent. I'll go there happily.
Right. No, definitely very, very fascinating, very interesting. Again, never thought of it that way. So yeah, I might give it a chance.
Yeah, opens your eyes to a whole new perspective, which is what life's all about.
Absolutely. And film especially. So
absolutely. All right, let's talk creature double feature.
All right, so let's do our creature double feature.
All right, Joe, before we get into this, got to give the warning. Before we continue, beware. There will be spoilers in the second half of this discussion. We're going to let you know when. So if you haven't seen the film, you may want to pause right now, go watch the movie, and return, or just keep on going, but you enter at your own risk.
All right, so what film are we doing?
We are doing Dangerous Animals, directed by the incomparable Sean Byrnes.
Awesome. All right, so what do you say we roll that clip?
Nice.
Oh my God, I can't believe I let you talk me into this.
It's going to be a great experience.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, crew. There's still one thing we need to take care of. I promise you it'll help. Close your eyes. Take a big, deep inhale. And out. And in. And out. Welcome aboard. I see you, come alive on that board. It's spiritual. I feel the same about what I do. It's my true calling.
What is this? Where are we? We're on his boat. Whose boat? I don't think you want to know.
You're a fighter. I love fighters. Makes for a better show.
When Zephyr, a savvy and free-spirited surfer, is abducted by a shark-obsessed serial killer and held captive on his boat, she must figure out a way how to escape before he carries out his ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. Now, let's get into some production backstory here, some really quick. So in May of 2024, it was reported that Sean Byrne, he'd be directing a film from a screenplay by Nick Leppard with Hassie Harrison and with Jai Courtney to star. On May 30th, it was reported that they had begun filming on the Gold Coast of Queensland where they actually contributed like $10.7 million to the state's economy. So it was very, yeah. And it had its premiere at the Directors Fortnight section of the Cannes Film Festival on May 17th of this year. And the film was finally released in the United States on June 6th by independent film company and Shudder, and in Australia on June 12th by Kismet Movies. All right, so wow, okay, this one. You want to go first, or should I? What do you?
No, dude, you're on a roll. Keep it up.
Okay, so this is not what I was expecting. First and foremost, I was blown away. You know, just when I thought that I loved his last film, this one just takes the cake. I was expecting a serial killer type of film where you see him do his serial killer. And, well, I don't know. I'll fucking just go into spoilers right off the bat.
All right, wait, but Joe, I've constructed this incredible song. Spoilers. Let me do it.
Okay.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. There's a spoiler wall.
Okay, so spoilers, okay? So, yeah, you know what? I was expecting a serial killer film where you see him do his thing and you got your characters and so forth. It's a survival horror film. You see him kill one person, right? And but you get through the scenes later on where you see he has a collection of videotapes with a strand of their hair cut off, and that's his collection. So he's been doing this a long time. So Sean Byrne establishes, yeah, this is a serial killer. This is what he does. And this is our next victim. Now it is a survival horror film. And Jesus, was I at the edge of my seat. Oh, man. I'm totally loved it.
You are 100% correct. I really didn't think about it in that context, which is kind of silly, but it is the woman trapped in the well in Silence of the Lamb. It's her story,
Yeah.
Which is fascinating and interesting, and that is what this movie is. I'm conflicted, Joe. I don't know if this is my favorite Sean Byrne. I definitely liked it better than The Devil's Candy, which is a great movie.
Yes.
The Loved Ones was such a gut punch of a movie, but this movie, and look, there are flaws to this movie. I don't think that Zephyr and what's the potential boyfriend's name?
Moses, I think his name was.
Moses. You're right. Zephyr and Moses suffer from two-dimensionality, and Jai Courtney does as well. But Jai Courtney crushes in this film. He's so dynamic as the villain and so interesting and fun to watch that when he's not on screen, you're kind of like he is the alpha predator in this movie. The sharks are actually just what they are in real life. They're just sharks. They're not villains. They're not bad guys, And there are scenes in this movie where if you don't lose your shit, the sharks won't attack you. If you panic, like in most circumstances in life, you can probably expect some pretty horrific outcomes. So I greatly respect. This is one of the few shark movies that depict sharks in their natural habitat naturally. So they're not the bad guys. They just happen to be in their home when someone throws, a pizza through the window. So I greatly appreciate that. This film, I'm sorry. You know what? I stopped your flow. Finish your take, because I think what might be an interesting take to me that I want to unpack. But finish your take.
Okay, well, I did, like I said, what I love, it subverted my expectation. I thought it was going this direction, and it goes this direction. You're right. This is definitely better than Devil's Candy, which was a damn good film. Now, now you kind of get into that conflict of, well, The Loved Ones was incredible, but you know what? It's a much different film. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like apples to oranges here, and that's what I like about Sean Byrne's style, is that he is one of these rare chameleon directors. Yeah, because if you put side by side all these three films, they're very different films. One's a homicidal, psychotic maniac film. The other one is, kind of like a weird Texas Chainsaw Massacre torture flick. And then
Right?
you got this, it's a shark film. So they're all within their different type of films. Now, which was more effective? That's where the conflict comes in, because the Loved Ones was heavy. That was intense. This one was, it had me at the edge. I was clutching the my arms, my armchairs, the side of my chair, just clutching at it. Yeah, I loved it. I
No,
thought
I
it was
like that
great.
you created a new word called armchairs.
Armchairs. Hey, this movie has me at a loss of words. It was so damn fun. I loved it.
This movie, Sean Byrne, you nailed it. Sean Byrne makes interesting films, and he makes them interestingly.
Yeah.
That was the point that I wanted to make. The cold open is fantastic in this
Mhm.
movie. But for me, being a super nerd, notice that he was filming, Sean Byrne and his cinematographer, they were filming it very much like Jonathan Demme and Tak Fujimoto from Silence of the Lambs. So it didn't land on me while I was watching it. But that cold open, what I mean by that, let me clarify. What I mean by that is the shots are very uncomfortably close to the face. You'll notice when you watch Silence of the Lambs, there's a lot of extreme close-ups, center frame of Jodie Foster, her roommate. This happens over and over again in the film. What it does is it makes the viewer uncomfortable because you're way too close to the subject. So it elicits an emotional response, and then Jonathan Demme can insert whatever direction or whatever response he wants or emotion he wants to elicit based off of being uncomfortable. Sean Byrne does that with a cold open, and I was like, later, not in the moment, but later I was like, you with the reference to Silence of the Lambs, which you just pointed out. Here I never really made the correlation to that Zephyr's experience, the woman in the well, but that is absolutely what Sean Byrne is referring to, especially with that Easter egg of the cold open, with the way he is mimicking the Tak Fujimoto cinematography. It's unbelievable. The listener right now is like, what the fuck are you talking about? What you need to do, listener, if you're up for it, is watch Silence of the Lambs, homework that everybody should be able to wrap their head around, and then watch watch all of Dangerous Animals, but compare it to the first 5 minutes of Dangerous Animals. You will see the correlation in filming styles. It is Sean Byrne giving shout out to Jonathan Demme and Tak Fujimoto. It is fan-freaking-tastic. So right there, this film gets eternal love just for that sly sleight of hand that Sean Byrne's doing. Then to actually deliver, let's be fair, Joe, a B movie. This is what it is. We're not talking like, and I know this is a despised word, but we're not talking elevated horror on the level of, we have multiple meanings and metaphors like something like Sinners, or 28 years later, which we're about to get into. This is just, it is what it is. It's a woman in peril. This guy likes to dip people into sharks, and let's have so much fun with that. And that's exactly what Sean Byrne delivers. There are a couple of issues with some two-dimensionality, which I mentioned, but when you're talking about a B movie, that's your wheelhouse. You make a thoroughly, engrossing B movie, I will love it till the dawn of time. You've got me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was, the whole, with the close-up shots, and I think that was to kind of bring the claustrophobia and stuck out in the middle of nowhere, in tight spaces on this
He
tiny.
only does it for the cold open. He stops after that.
Yeah. But I think the best part of this entire film is definitely Jai Courtney.
Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a close set. Yeah, it's kind of tough because our final girl was something else too. But Jai Courtney, first of all, I'd only seen him in Terminator. I think it was Genesis, and in
Yes.
and also in Die Hard 5, which was an abomination of a film, it was horrible. And that's the only place I've known him from. And he's usually very reserved and or playing a certain type of character. He is completely psychotic in this. I mean, the way he, Sean Byrne gets him to express the intoxication of power that he has over these beasts and ultimately over people. Because keep in mind, most likely in the real world, he's just this loser boat owner who takes people out, to swim with sharks. He's nobody. But out there, he's God. He controls these beasts. He has domain over them. And ultimately, again, over the people that he feeds the sharks to, and which I thought was really, I mean, he does this thing, the whole dance thing when when he's drinking and eating or whatever the hell on the boat. And it was just creepy as hell. I mean, he was hands down amazing. And again, having seen him in just these other two films and having, watching him break out the way he did in this was above and beyond just, it was mind blowing. Now, our heroine, our final girl, I'd have to say she is the ultimate badass final girl.
Yeah, she is. Look, I'm hoping she continues with horror because she could easily make a career of it. She was phenomenal.
Yeah, and she taps into these survival instincts that we have, and she escapes like 3 or 4. Spoiler. What was song, Sean? The spoiler song.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
Spoiler, she escapes like 3 friggin' times, and he catches her all 3 times. But does she give up? I mean, her perseverance to survive and her will to live, and her strength and her, her demeanor. She was just an amazing character. I was cheering every time she escaped, and then you're like, oh man, he got her. But then she goes again. Definitely a cat and mouse kind of game as well, going on here. I was just, I was kind of like breathless. It was just incredible.
Couple of call outs here. Incredibly well written script. Jai Courtney he just does phenomenal things in the role because the script is going to say, Captain Chum does a weird dance, after his first kill. That's words on a page. What he does with that in his performance is what is captivating. He really, he created this character, with help of Sean Byrne, but he really does make it his own.
He does. And, you get these elements like, how he uses his masculinity to hide his true cowardice as. I mean, again, this is not a very deep movie, but it does. Yeah. And has elements of, the masculinity and cowardice and, how the intoxication of power in, over things and what drives a psychotic serial killer. And again, and that's definitely complemented by Hassie Harrison. Her performance, she was solid, she was strong, and totally believable. Definitely a badass and a survivor. And I love single location. I love survival horror, and this gave me a dose of both.
She does a great job with her role, and I appreciate. We've kind of had we've had a few of these now, and it seems to be becoming its own subgenre, which is, let's call it, this is a slasher movie, serial killer movie. I mean, the weapon of choice is sharks, but this is a slasher movie essentially. But where the final girl does all the right things. It's not
Yes.
her fault that she comes up against, failure. She's smart. She doesn't put herself in danger. Danger finds her, but she does the right thing time and time again. She just happens to be foiled by circumstance and sometimes bad luck. The one thing I will say, though, my one gripe is that she gets pulled off the boat, very much Ahab style at one point.
Mhm.
It's like it was one narrow escape too many. Like, at this point, she's already escaped, like, 4 times, and this is the 5th one, and I'm just like, "Man, we definitely coulda cut this, trim 5 minutes out of the film, because at that point, it's just like you're taking the piss, you know? It's like, "Alright, man." Like,
See,
even
see,
even Zephyr can't escape 5 times, you
but
know?
see, for me, I love that. For me, I was one of the things I loved because she kept escaping. He kept getting her, and to me, that just, I mean, yeah, they kind of went to the well one too many times on that. But to me, that just kind of like brought out her determination to escape. This, she was almost like a wild animal. In fact, he does refer to her as a marlin, this fish that just wouldn't give up, that wouldn't get
Yeah.
doesn't want to get cut, and that's what he finds his challenge in her. And yeah, and she ends up serving him to his own sharks at the
Can we
end.
talk about that for a second, Joe?
Yeah, yeah,
The CGI in this film, because it is CGI, is phenomenal. I don't
yes.
know to what degree practical was used. There's some practical in here, fins and whatnot, but I will have to say this is some of the best shark CGI that I have seen in quite some time.
Oh, it is great. I mean, I wasn't aware. I mean, there's two things that factor into that. One is that you're so enveloped and taken in by the situations and the film itself and its pacing. And so you got that just sucks you in. And then you
Yeah.
got some damn good CGI that you're not, because of the prior, you're not even worried about the former, which is the CGI that you know it's there, but you just immersed in this world. So it wasn't until like hours later that I'm like, wow, were those sharks CGI? Hey, that was CGI, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
And and that's where Sean Byrne really succeeded in this, in that, he well, term I used a long time ago was hiding the zipper. And what's a good way to hide the zipper? And one way is lighting, right? Or
Yep.
and angles, but another way is tell a damn good story. Grab the audience by the throat and pull them in through the screen. That's another way. And that's Sean Byrne's method right there. Um, and yeah, just definitely it was one of my favorite films.
Sean Byrne, people, if you don't have him on your radar, please add him. Go check out The Loved Ones, The Devil's Candy, and please, by all means, watch Dangerous Animals. It's well worth your time.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's go with some standout moments and or performances. What stood out for you performance wise?
Everybody was fantastic, but for me, it's Jai Courtney. I mean, he is just electric, and he's on fire in this role.
Yeah. Oh, same here. I mean, for me again, yeah, it's the same. When he does that dance, I mean, that was one of those pinnacle moments. You go, this motherfucker's off his rocker. He's
Yeah,
gone.
well off his rocker.
Yeah, and I loved it. And he sells it, and you're sitting there, and you're buying every penny of it. Yeah,
100%. I think
yeah.
one of the best moments, it's kind of underplayed, but it really resonates, is when she throws his video camera overboard. That is because he tapes everything on VHS, and he's like, "I'm so fucked because it's 2025 and they don't make this anymore." But his
that oh,
reaction to that is perfect.
that was so funny. I loved it. So what do you say we get into our ratings on this one?
All right, so come on, razzle dazzle me. What are you naming the rating system?
Okay, let's go with I don't want to go
You're not
shark.
going to do fins. You're not going to do how many fins do you give this movie?
How many shark teeth?
Nice. Okay.
Okay, so how many shark teeth do you give Dangerous Animals?
I'm gonna give it 8 teeth.
8 teeth. Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna give it 8 teeth. It well earned it.
Solid, solid. Well, for me, this was a solid hybrid of a shark movie, which I love, and a serial killer film, which I love. And of course, it's also a survival horror film. A nice
Which
little
I love.
mix. Yes. Sean Byrne, he does it again. For me, also, I'm going to give this 8 out of 10 shark teeth.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic score. Honestly, like I said, well earned, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. So what do you say we get into the latter half of our gruesome, double feature here?
All right. This is going to be 28 years later, directed by the incredible Danny Boyle, script written by the phenomenal Alex Garland.
All right. So what do you say we roll that clip?
Roll it.
The bullets and the bandoliers.
There are many kinds of death. And some are better than others. For this is a glorious day. A day of judgment. My children!
There's no discharge in the war.
A group of survivors of the rage virus live on a small island. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors. Now, this is going to be a little lengthy because I remember years and years and years, year after year, they're talking about, ever since the 28 weeks later came out, it was, there's going to be another one. There's going to be another one. So here's the path it took. So it started in 2007 after Atomic, they confirmed the development of a third 28 Days film, dependent on the financial performance of 28 weeks later, following its home release. In July of that same year, Danny Boyle said that the story for the third installment had been mapped out and all set. By October of 2010, Alex Garland stated that due to differences involving the film rights, the film was delayed. So in 2011, Boyle stated that he delivered the project that that would be realized, confirming the development of the story further. By April 2013, however, the filmmakers expressed, I remember this actually, the uncertainty if this film was ever going to get made. So it was like, may not happen. 2015, in January, Garland addressed the project's status, confirming that while it had fallen into development hell, there were serious discussions going on behind the scenes to try to get this produced and bring it to the big screen. In June of 2019, Boyle confirmed that he and Garland had been working on the third installment.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2022, November, Boyle, Garland, and actor Cillian Murphy, they all indicated their renewed interest in doing a sequel. By June of 2023, Boyle and Garland expressed in collaboration their intentions to seriously and diligently see the project into production, while announcing the script would be titled 28 Years Later. So let's jump now to it's March of 2024. Garland confirmed that he was writing a trilogy of films that would come after, and finally the film was it began production in May 7th, 2024, and it was released June 20th, 2025. This movie was bonkers back and forth. I remember reading articles. Yeah, it's in. It's not in. It's going to get done. It's dead in the water. And so thank goodness they finally got it made. So
just goes to show you how hard it is to get a film made. I mean, even for Danny Boyle.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you know this, tell our listeners the fancy, huge camera that was used to film most of this film,
I mean, it's basically the Hubble telescope. No, it's Danny Boyle, along with filmmakers like Steven Soderbergh. I want to say maybe even David Fincher, but anyway, it's the iPhone. They're using iPhones.
Yeah, the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I was floored when I read this a couple of days after I watched the film. It's amazing. It's a beautifully shot film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rig though, Joe, the rig that they use, people think when we say, oh, they're using an iPhone, it's, Danny Boyle running through the forest holding it in his hand. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of iPhones with complex rigs, but the iPhone camera is one of the best cameras on the planet.
Yeah,
we're talking top of the line technology, so it makes sense if you're a filmmaker with the ingenuity to make that work for you. By all means, have at it. And there are breathtaking shots in this film.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. So, what were your takes overall on 28 years later?
This film was so good. I hate using this word. It sound like such a douchebag, but it was impactful for me. It really was. The first thing I'll say though, I'm gonna do a beep boop, op-ed by Sean Patrick O'Connor when horror lovers pontificate, and I have to do the voice, Joe. You shouldn't call it zombies because it's actually a rage virus. Stop using zombies. And also, Frankenstein is the doctor, not the monster. Nobody likes that person. I'm just going to put this out there right now. Nobody likes you when you say shit like that. And you give horror fans a bad name because that's what people think of when they hear you say stuff like that, is how annoying horror fans can be. Trust me, I know. I'm one. So I just want to put that out there. If I hear someone say, don't say zombies, it's a virus one more time, I'm going to put my fist through the sun. Anyway, there we go. This movie was so good on so many levels. Look, we just got done talking about dangerous animals. Certainly not going to put the boots to that. This is a different film. This is a more complex film. Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are trying to say something about society. They're trying to say something about societal norms. They're trying to say something about what it means to be a man. They're trying to say something about what it means to be a person in society and what society is after a cataclysmic event. There's so many layers to this film, and they're all fascinating. Do they all work? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm still processing it. But what I will say is that the performances are intricate and layered and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I cried in this film. Oh, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. We did spoilers. Okay, spoilers. When Jodie Comer dies, that scene with the score and the way it's filmed and the patience that Danny Boyle takes to let the scene unravel naturally and not rush anything and give everybody their moments to process it, especially the audience. I was driven to tears. It was so beautiful. And I point that out because there are a lot of zombie films and zombie shows that try and demonstrate the beauty of the desolate landscape, and maybe there's beauty in what society has become because we get rid of all the pretense and the distraction, but it never works. This is the only zombie film I've ever seen where it actually works to the point where it drove me to tears. So, again, you sound like such a fucking taunt when I say it was impactful, but
it was.
It was. I mean, it really, really was. All right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Your
thoughts.
I honestly did not expect that. That impactful moment. When he's because he's putting up the skull on the tower, and the way it was shot and the
His
light.
Mother's skull.
Yes,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it is a coming of age film as well. And it's kind of like he left the Shire, he won't return to the Shire the same person. And
by the way, that's a great analogy.
Yeah, and you feel that, you feel that arc and that journey he's taken from, being a child to an adult. it's just a beautiful film. And again, I did not expect that from this film. I saw the first two, and apparently Danny Boyle stated that 28 weeks later doesn't exist. This is a direct sequel to the first.
Oh, that's a shame because I honestly really loved it. Talking about nihilistic films,
Yeah.
I really love 28 Weeks Later.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love both of them. I mean, now all three of them.
But that's
And
okay.
but you know
Take it
what?
off.
There's no There's very little connective matter between the three films in this, because it's always different. All three are different characters, different scenarios, same universe, same event.
Yeah.
And this is of course 28 years later. And but to me, one of the standout moments of performances was Ralph Fiennes. Ralph Fiennes was, and he doesn't have much screen time, but what his dialogue, the way he delivers it, his presentation, and the way they molded this character of his is just phenomenal, because, you think he's this kooky doctor and this eccentric weirdo, and, but he's a good guy. He's just, he's not, he's weird, but, he definitely is this amazing character. You got a great performance and a great character when they only have a few minutes screen time, but it feels like they've been in throughout the entire film.
7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a Darth Vader thing. Darth Vader wasn't in the movie that much, but that character was so impactful. In Star Wars, I mean, apples oranges. I mean, different kind of film, obviously, but the same kind of concept. Where you got the performance and the character so powerfully molded and created that it stands out. And I did not. It's another element that I didn't expect to see in this.
There are a lot of all right, here goes the tangent, but bear with me. Former English teacher here. So when I watched the film, a lot of people are comparing it to The Lion King. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Spike go off, and he's having his basically becoming a man ceremony by going out and killing one of the infected. A lot of people are making that correlation to The Lion King, which is totally fine. But I will put this out there to America. Please read a book as I'm watching the film. All I'm getting it's like wine snobs. I'm going to be a literary snob right now. I'm getting hints of Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness, because that's what Fiennes is. I mean, they're through Aaron Taylor Johnson's interpretation of Fiennes, he's portraying him to be Colonel Kurtz. He's this madman who lives upriver.
Right.
You're getting James Fenimore Cooper, Last of the Mohicans. Spike is essentially Uncas,
Yeah.
and he's not with Chingachgook. Ray Fiennes is Chingachgook. Aaron Taylor Johnson is this depiction of masculinity where he's a hammer and everything's a nail. He lives in an isolated community. Now, look, this is, it's 2025. Nothing good can happen through isolationism.
Right.
No matter what political spectrum you're on, isolation is a death knell for everything, for creativity, for culture, for everything. Hopefully not us, but that's the community that they live in, and it's very the correlation to what Fiennes is doing and what the community is doing on the Causeway are antithetical to each other. The Causeway people, they bury their dead outside the gate. Ray Fiennes is surrounded by death, and it's a testament, it's a monument to it. Aaron Taylor Johnson had an encounter with Fiennes from a distance when he was a kid, and a simple question of "What are you doing?" could have opened up a whole new world to him. But instead, he relied on his, basically the way he grew up, that nature versus nurture of, well, I'm just going to go run back behind my wall, and then created this mythology of Fiennes, which is completely untrue. This is a very 2025 movie. I mean, what Garland is saying about the times that we live in, the metaphors that he's creating, I mean, it's like a bullhorn, but it's done with a scalpel, and it's beautiful to watch. And it just wave after wave. It's not so apparent that it beats you over the head, but it kind of just rolls over you. And after you watch the film and you think about it, you have this appreciation for it. So I'm getting to the end of my tangent, I promise. But what I really appreciated was that here Fiennes is living in the quote unquote wilderness, which is anything outside the causeway walls. And it's, Garland and Boyle are also making, a case for animal conservation, because Fiennes is living amongst the infected peacefully. You get the feeling that he's collecting these skulls and these bodies. He's not killing them. They are just dying because they're still human. They're not zombies. They are human and they have a natural life expectancy. So he's, collecting the dead and building his testament to the dead, which is what we do with the 9/11 memorial, which is what we do with Kojima, which is what we do with Pearl Harbor. He's honoring the sacrifice to what it means being human, which we all know is the hardest thing in the world. And it's beautiful. And what he's doing is beautiful, even though he's a kook. He's kooky, but he is the Chingachgook of Last of the Mohicans that Spike gravitates toward and understands and learns from, who's saying you can live amongst them. It doesn't have to be a hammer and a nail. He's showing him a different way. And like I said about animal conservation, he's like, you can live in the wilderness amongst them, and it's a symbiotic relationship, and it can work. Behind that wall, everything is just black and white.
Yeah.
The stark differences are they're so grand that I cannot wait to see where they go with the next two films. And then the introduction of Jimmy, which is just like, then just let's fucking throw napalm into everything.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. This was amazing. The ending, because you basically get these, they're like Power Rangers in leisure suits, right? And they're hopping around, they're killing the zombies, because Spike is cornered, right?
And how funny is it that Spike left his Power Ranger at home when he was, quote unquote, I got to stop doing that, when he was becoming a man?
Yeah, exactly. And then you get the final shot. You get Jack freaking O'Connell.
What a year this guy's having.
Wow.
What a year.
Now,
Joe,
for those of you who don't know who that is, he was Remick in Sinners. And you called it. You called it that we're going to be seeing more of this guy. And lo and behold, he was. And I was like, hell yeah!
couldn't have a better actor.
Yeah,
Thrilled for him.
Yeah, so excited, and nice setup for the next film, which we only have to wait a few months for it. It's coming out in January.
Yeah, 28 weeks later.
Yeah. So it's going to be so awesome. But yeah, I mean, this movie does resonate. I think it resonated with a lot. I mean, I have to say, from what I've been hearing, it is kind of a divisive film, because you got some people going, didn't like it. It wasn't like the others. It was too slow. I didn't get it. And then you got the other half were like us. So this is a beautiful masterpiece of a film, of a true testament to real filmmaking. And, because, I mean, to me, it resonated with the element of isolationism, or being isolated. I mean, we all experienced the pandemic.
Ooh, Joe, hold on. Oh, sorry. I have to ask you a question. On that topic of isolationism and the community behind the wall, did you not get jarring Wicker Man vibes? I mean, this is Summer Isle.
Yeah, I did kind of get some of that, which was kind of trippy.
That they're wearing?
Yeah, that was trippy. I mean, for the most part, the community was pretty nice. I was pretty comfortable looking, and I wouldn't mind living there. But there was something dark and weird underneath, and which I'm sure they'll get into maybe in the next film. I don't know, but yeah, you got that person in the mask, and
Spider Sense started tingling with Summer Isle from the Wicker Man and Midsommar, because, and I have to watch this again because I wasn't looking for it. I could be wrong. It seemed like everyone was white in the community. I don't think good things are happening behind that wall. I think we're supposed to be lulled into a false sense of security because Alan Tyler Johnson is a handsome man and projects that prototypical this is a square-jawed good guy that we're supposed to believe in. I don't think good things are happening there, bud. I think there's we're going to find out what the narrative is there, and I think it's going to be real gross.
Yeah. Well, interesting point, because one thing I wanted to bring up, which I didn't get initially, but now that you mention all this, maybe there's something there, because the island is connected by causeway to the mainland that it surfaces during low tide, and they cross over. Now, I was thinking, okay, there is a bunch of flesh-eating creatures out there. It's totally dangerous. You have on the island, you have vegetation, you have gardens, you have livestock, you have nice little cottages, and it's a nice setup. Why would you want to go onto the mainland? And they do this apparently occasionally, but why would you risk it? Risk a breach or risk yourself getting killed when you're completely and totally safe there. But now that you mention these points, that kind of does make sense.
It's just, you can only live behind a wall for so long. By the way, is there livestock? Where did that bacon come from? I didn't see any pigs. I'm just putting these things out there, Joe. Just putting these things out there.
Oh,
There's a lot going on behind that wall that we don't know. I cannot wait to see how it's unpacked in the next two films.
yeah,
I have a feeling that we're going to find out that Jimmy's not the only horrible thing going on.
right.
Dude, I got to give you a shout out because you nailed it first. I love your reference to Tolkien. I think there's a lot of Homer's The Iliad, The Odyssey.
Yes.
There's, how great is a journey film?
Yes. Yeah, because it's not just a physical journey; it's a spiritual journey, and I love films like that. I mean, movies like Stand by Me, for example.
Yeah.
They leave their little town. When those kids come back into town, they're not going to be the same people they were when they left. Their innocence was shattered and being backslapped with the hand of reality and life. And that spurns their growth and their journey towards who they're going to be. And so with that being said, I mean, I can't wait to see where this new trilogy goes. And it's going to be exciting. And of course you got Jack O'Connell. Come on.
What a great teaser at the end. What a great teaser. Jimmy seems like he is going to be a terrifying good time. But
Yes.
what I will say, and I'll wrap up my final thoughts on the film here. 28 years later has a lot to say.
Yes.
It doesn't shout it from the
Mhm.
rooftop. It whispers it in your ear. And I
Yeah.
love that.
And you may not get it all, but it's lingering in your head. It stays there, and you know it's there. You walk out of that theater, and the movie may have, said like 50,000 things. You can only remember 10 or 20, but the rest of them, they're in there, and it nags at you, and you're thinking about it, and you're dissecting it. It just gestates, and that's the kind of film that I love. That okay, you don't have to get it the first viewing. You may get it the second, but it's
Insanely rewatchable film.
Yeah.
Insanely rewatchable.
all right. Yeah. So, what were your key performances or key moments in this one?
Fine steals the movie for sure, but
Yeah.
look, that's not even fair. Oh, dang it! Who is the actor who plays Spike? Why am I so bad at my job? It is Alfie Williams. Carries the film.
Yeah, he definitely does, and that's amazing when you pit him against you put him in a scene with someone as seasoned and as masterful as Fiennes. He carries this kid's like what 12, 15 years old, and he's doing a scene with he's not doing a scene with an actor. He's doing a scene with a thespian.
Yes.
And he carries his own. There's only one other film that I saw like that I saw an actor actually two. One was Jennifer Lawrence in the Playbook movie. What was that?
Silver Linings Playbook. Oh my God.
Silver Linings Playbook. And she has a scene with De Niro. Here's Robert freaking De Niro. And she's in a scene. This young kid who's just barely wiping off her snot and getting her feet wet in film. And she showed them, hey, I can hang in there with the best of you. Another one reference it would be Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men.
Sure.
The courthouse scene, you can't handle the truth. And Tom Cruise just comes right back. And that's rare. But for a little kid to do this, it's so impressive. And, he's definitely going places.
Just cannot wait to see what he does and where his journey leads him in the next few films. But look, we have to call it out. Everyone in this film is unbelievable. Jodie Comer does not a lot of screen time, maybe just a touch more than Fiennes. Incredible job. Alan Taylor Johnson, incredible job. And again,
Yes.
I think I need to just take a beat here and point out that his character is not the villain. His character is a product of his environment. He's
Yeah.
doing the best he can with the skill set and that he has as a father. It is just different from, what Fiennes is able to offer.
Right. Well, yeah, this one was a heavy one. Loved it.
Can't wait to see it again. Cannot wait.
All right, so let's go with our ratings. So we're gonna go with scale of 1 to 10 skulls.
10.
Oof, that was yeah. It's just amazing. For me, I mean, great setup for the new trilogy. Had me at the edge of my seat while holding back tears. I'm gonna give this a solid 9 out of 10 skulls. It was beautifully shot. It's a emotionally impactful film. It's a thought-provoking film, and definitely worth a rewatch. And I can't wait for the next one.
Same. I cannot wait for January. I never thought I'd say that.
Right? Yeah, usually it's October, right?
I know. It's going to be so. You know what? This gives us something to look forward to in the new year.
Absolutely, for sure. Okay, so Sean, before we close this out, what is my homework assignment for the 70s Freaktacular? Oh, we already went over that.
You psycho.
Okay, let me rewind. Okay. Okay.
That is my favorite moment so far. I'm like,
Okay.
dude, you having a stroke?
Alrighty, so I got my 70s Freaktacular assignment, and I'm so excited. Trilogy of Terror. I was so hoping you would say that. You must have read my mind, and I can't wait to watch that and discuss it on our next episode.
You got it, buddy. Oh, I'm going to go on such a tangent with anthology films from the 70s. I'm going to apologize now.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the weirder, the more strange, the better. I love it. So before we sign off here, why don't you tell our listeners what we got in store for them next month?
Joe, this is possibly the only film that could knock Sinners off its throne, and that's Zach Cregger's Weapons. We're going to have to see, but I'm so excited.
Oh, yes. I mean, and I love his work. I love Barbarian. I love what he did there. It was unique. It was original. It was different. And this doesn't look like it's going to disappoint whatsoever. The general concept, the kind of idea, simple. Kids disappear in the middle of the night. Where are they? And, just burns out to something. What the fuck is going on?
So many original voices in horror these days. I mean, I don't know if anyone's even aware of it, but the spate of remakes has quieted down, and we're getting new content, original voices, diverse voices. It's incredible. What's happening in horror right now is just I get so crazy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said earlier, I mean, we're not going to find ourselves going, oh man, what is there to cover? I mean, it's a plethora of horror waiting for us.
I was going to say too much, but that's a stupid thing to say. Never enough. Keep it coming.
Never enough. Exactly. All righty. So let's start winding this down. So folks, thank you so much for joining us this month and listening. And we hope you enjoyed the show.
Please help to support the podcast by giving us a 5-star rating and leave a good review. I know it's kind of, these guys are asking for good reviews, but it's honestly how we get, plugged into the algorithm, and those good reviews just get us more exposure. Another way to support us is to subscribe and follow us on Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Audible, Boomplay, or wherever you get your horror podcast fix.
And you can also catch me on the Filmjoe Podcast with new episodes dropping every Wednesday on all the same platforms.
And you can find me over at Macabre Daily, where I run the Paper Cuts book review column, as well as doing all the reviews and interviews that you have been checking out over at Macabre Daily. You can also find me at SeanOC32 on Instagram.
Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, and our YouTube channel. That's where we also have all of our regular episodes drop as well. All of this stuff, you can find it in our LinkTree link below in the show notes. Be sure to click on them.
You can also contact us directly by email at fearonfilmpod@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear your feedback.
All right, so with that being said, I'm Joe.
And I'm Sean.
And this has been Fear on Film,
where horror lives.